So we have all of our applique pieces cut, as well as our background. Our background is larger than what we need, which will be great when we need to square it up afterwards. First thing you're going to do is fold this in half diagonally, so you make a triangle, and give it a good press on the wrong side, right in kind of the center area. You're going to want to use that crease for our location for our applique pieces. And so repeat that again, fold it over one more time, and give that a good crease press. So now that we have our registration marks, we can go ahead and find the center of our stem and place it right in the center of the block. Now, there's a couple different products you can use if you're not using fusible. So you can use Fabric Fuse, Elmer's glue, tacky glue, and also maybe even a glue stick. I'm going to use this super stick. I believe it's by ThermoWeb. But you don't need a whole lot. You just need a little bit of a dab to keep this in place. And then repeat that with the other stem. So I'm going to find the center of this, and that is where it's going to lay on the block. All right, now that I have that down, I need to place my flowers. So I want to make sure that I stay away from these edges. You are going to be trimming the block down to 12.5. So make sure that you pull it down just a little bit so it's not too close to those edges. Kind of audition a few places prior to finishing it. If you need to, you can fold these in half as well, crease that, and then you know that that goes in the center halfway on the stem. So you're going to repeat this process. I've got 2 blues and 2 pinks, and they are opposite each other, but you can go ahead and make them scrappy if you want, so all of them are different. It really doesn't matter. So I'm going to scoot this on the square now. Now the last ones we're going to add are the leaves. So if you are using fusible, go ahead and just, fuse these down when you have them laid out how you like. With the leaves, they kind of just meet right in the center of the stem. They do cover up the flower a little bit, and you want to just make sure that we are not super close to that edge. I'm going to turn this under a little bit and put a little bit of fabric glue stick down to keep them in place. You're not using a lot, so it shouldn't gum up your machine. If you are using fusible, you don't need the glue, so just pick one or the other. All the stems are the same, so you're not going to have problems with like a left or a right or directionals at all with them. With this method, you can choose raw edge applique. You could also stitch around the edge with a buttonhole, but you've got a couple different options. So you can audition a few when you are ready to sew them. I'm going to turn this around just a little bit so I am looking at it straight on when I place these down. Again, making sure that I'm kind of equal on both sides without going over my seam allowance area. A regular glue stick works just fine as well, but if you are using fusible, you just follow those instructions for the lightweight, and that works perfect too. Got one of these off, which the glue stick is great because you can kind of pull that up and reposition it if you need. And my last 2. Then when you stitch these down, you can kind of double check, put some pins in there if you need, if they start scooting around and you don't like how they're going. So they really are quite repositionable once you get going because of the glue stick. So now I just need to take this to the sewing machine. I can do some raw edge applique, I can do some buttonhole, I could hand applique this on with the buttonhole or needle turn. With the needle turn, you do need to make sure that you cut your applique pieces as stated in the pattern, and they will be 1/8 to 1/4 inch larger to turn those under before you stitch. So this is the completed applique block for the quilt.